just like low income or the Live Local Act, right? That type of stuff. This is a thing, and again, these aren't huge projects for huge developers like the big guys. So this is maybe like right in this guy's wheelhouse, right? Not this like $300 million project, right? Type thing. Yeah. So I think that fits. What's also interesting here is the units are restricted to renters 62 and older.
That was an interesting number. I mean, normally every time I see older, people in the community, I'm thinking like 55 and up, but it was like 62. That's not 60, not 65, 62. I'm just kind of curious, how we arrived at this number, but here we are.
Which makes sense. And they're individuals that are earning between 33 and 60% of the area's median income, which is also nice because a lot of the other projects that we've seen that are affordable really are higher, right? Are like 80% of the median income. So it's not really as affordable as you think it would be in some of these other projects. This project, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is good. And again, because it's downtown, it's infill, maybe it's a little bit more walkable for these individuals that are living there. Not that maybe they're all walking around and functional, but there's that element there. Right. And what we really see when these types of units or communities are built, it's good to have them close to other they need to be spread out all over, because most people that have their family in these homes, they want them to be close by. So you can't just send them to, Loxahatchee and then they're an hour and a half away, right?
Right.
So this is kind of where these need to be, and to have a full cycle sustainable community, you need this product in the mix as well. And so he's doing his part, and the deal sounds like it's going to work in every direction. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing more of these kinds of projects, whether or not Zoe Mourning is attached to it. That's no, it's great. I like seeing problems being solved.
Agreed. So let's head north from Hollywood to Boca Raton, where the city's biggest private landowner just got the green light to move forward on a hotel project, which we've talked about before. He's been working on this for years, and we've been in touch directly with their attorneys, so we have an intimate knowledge of what's going on here. But there's been a little bit of a change. So Boca's Planning and Zoning Board just approved a scaled back version of the Royal Palm Plaza Hotel, which you and I were pretty excited about. Yeah. I mean, it looked epic on the first run. I don't know if there's a rendering we could throw up there, but this guy right here, see Batman. That's it. Jim Batmasian.
We call him Batman.
We call him Batman. Yeah. Jim Batmasian. He is one of the largest landowners here in Boca Raton. So developer Jim Batmasian has owned Royal Palm Place since the 1980s. It's a 15.4 acre mixed use property in downtown Boca. We're in that territory right now. This is where we're filming from.
Yeah.
And we know this area very well. And it's been a fixture of his portfolio, frankly, right? This is a very popular place. It's where everybody goes. He has a proposed 12-story hotel at 200 South Federal Highway, which won original approval back in August of 2022, which is basically when we talked about it. It's been that long. Wow.
Yeah.
But rising construction cost, forced redesign. And so now they're putting forward a new plan to approve on February 19th, it looks like, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the big kicker. They're dropping the parking. A lot of parking spaces, and reducing parking space by nearly 700 spaces.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Why would you still go
Well, let's talk about this. I mean, how hard was it to park here tonight?
I actually had trouble. Right? Parking here this evening.
It's not easy.
That's the
to
first
park
time
here.
in a while. I mean, usually but I've gotten here early enough where I kind of sneak in somewhere. But
totally.
No. It's funny you say that. I was in the garage, and I was going up a couple floors, and everything's reserved for residents. And then, wait. This one's reserved until 5 p.m. And I'm like, I got you now. I'm like, reserve this. So, no, as I say, man, I'm like a cranky old man. It's like the parking. You have no idea how much of a difference that makes in my life. I mean, the no hassle
Oh, yeah.
portion. I mean, it's like I could be going to the greatest place on earth. If I can't, find parking in a reasonable manner, it just like ruins my whole day.
It's a thing. And
Yeah.
so a Royal Palm Place already has a parking constraint. And then layer in new hotel. And what did he talk about? So let's just talk about it. Layer in new hotel with substantially less parking. It's going to be wild here. So the original in 2022 approved plans included 144 hotel rooms and below grade parking. Now, the revised plan eliminates the underground parking completely. Again, it's pretty expensive to do this. Plus, some of the other buildings in the area, we won't name names, have had some trouble with.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you. Are they still
with the ocean coming in there, underground parking, if you will. So I think there is still trouble. They're working through these things. It's not easy to build like a reverse pool, basically, up against the ocean. I mean, the water table here is well above, where these garages are built. So they're dropping the room count to 137 rooms. And they're reducing on-site parking from the proposed 887 to 205 spaces. It is a very different parking situation.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see if the city gives this the green light. I still would like it to happen. I think.
Would you though, Larry? Would you?
I think Batman's not going to build it if he can't do it cheaper. That's my take on this.
He's like, I didn't get to be filthy, stinking rich by, spending extra. My God.
Let's see what he says. Higher construction costs were the driving factor. Batmasian's attorney, whom we know, L, of Miskell Backman, LLP, said cost of building below grade parking made the original plan financially unworkable. So, hey, they probably went through the execution phase and were just like, this isn't going to work. Now, we've seen other buildings do it in the area.
Well, I know there's one right by you.
Yeah,
that has
or right by that
parking
building.
lot.
I mean, right here, right down the street. So, but again, that was a different time. The
world was so different then. Technology,
construction costs were much cheaper before pandemic.
Right.
So I think that's the argument again. So it's the 149,000 square foot hotel will include 137 rooms, 6,800 square feet of restaurant space on the first floor, and an 1,800 square foot fast food establishment. Then also 2,600 square feet of additional retail, 1,300 square feet of outdoor dining. And as we talked about, the 205 parking spaces that aren't going to be enough to accommodate.
Why even bother with the fast food joint? What are we doing?
Batman, he has preferences. He's like,
let me tell you something. We're going to get a Chick-fil-A right there. We are not going to do this.
Well, listen, I've been in Batman's office, and he's very healthy. I want everybody to know this. He's got a lot of vitamins in his office. He'll admit it. He'll say it. No. He's so I don't know. Maybe it's a Chick-fil-A. Who knows? No, there's no way you could put a Chick-fil-A in downtown here. It would be chaos. Yeah,
that's a very good point.
The traffic would be ridiculous. If people I'll give them that. I'll give the traffic people that. We'll see. You can't put a drive-through Chick-fil-A.
A fast food establishment. What fast food establishment can you put there?
All right, we're waiting to see. Batman, let us know. Drop us a note in the comments. Give me a call.
Send out the bat signal.
By the way, Batman's like 70-something, right? And he's an older gentleman. And he's got the energy, man. He called me on a Sunday recently.
Oh, really?
And he's working on a deal, trying to buy something. Like, Jim, what are you calling me on a Sunday for?
It's 4 a.m. What are you doing?
It's 4 a.m., Jim. God, it's great. Now he's a hustler, man. He's still got the energy here. So
good for him.
Anyway, so hopefully they can make this happen. I'm excited for it. Did we have any renderings? We didn't have any renderings in the show.
I didn't see it. Oh, okay. Well, not the most updated ones. There were some, but that was a different time.
That was a different time. That was in 2020.
That's over. It's gone.
It's over. Let's move on.
All right. So from Boca's hotel pipeline to what's happening next door, Delray Beach is in the middle of something big. We're talking about an entire citywide investment push. Evidently, Delray is pouring hundreds of $1 million hundreds of millions into its future. Over $400 million in public and private investment is flowing into Delray Beach through 2030. Water, roads, beaches, public safety, parks, and housing. And the thing is, they're doing it all at once. That'll be fun.
Lots of money.
Yeah, lots of money, lots of construction, and a lot of traffic.
Delray's blowing up. I mean, that's the fact, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of private investment in the area, and you need infrastructure to support that, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about water treatment plants. We're talking about beach restoration.
What's wrong with their beach? They have
the
actual voted best beach in Florida,
Right,
which by default kind of means easily top 5 in the country, I would think.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. So $19.2 million to restore 2.65 miles of shoreline from south of Hidden Harbor Drive to south of Atlantic Dunes Park. This is the second major restoration in 5 years, which is interesting. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers stated the project protects Delray Beach's homes, businesses, and critical infrastructure. Longtime resident Jennifer Server told WPTV the shoreline has receded so much that water now reaches the condo buildings this project, if you guys have ever seen it, they have the big barges that sit off the shore, and they basically suck up sand and water and pump that sand onto the beach. This is a thing.
I didn't know.
This is a thing that the beaches here in South Florida do. It's not just like this perfect beach that always sits there for anybody who's out of the area.
No.
Doesn't appreciate
I'm that naive.
Yeah.
I just we're just
beach.
lucky. Yeah.
No, we spend millions of dollars regularly to pump sand onto our beach.
I had no idea.
Right? This is kind of wild. It's kind of nuts. They were doing it in Boca for a while. By the way, same thing for the Boca Raton Inlet. Right? Those guys are always sucking up sand over there because the way the water moves. I mean, there was a time recently where basically sandbars just accumulate in the inlet, and basically you would just run aground, right? So to actually keep our area the way it is, it requires tons of money and crazy engineering, right? Which is nuts. I mean, to think that, the Boca Raton Inlet would just disappear if we weren't over there pumping sand out of it. So boats wouldn't be able to come into Boca. So back to the same thing. It's this, in theory, protects housing values here. And so tax dollars at work.
It would keep all the jackasses out of Lake Boca, though. I mean, that one weekend a year where it's always so crazy.
That's
that litters the entire
Boca
huge
Bash.
Right? Yeah, Boca Bash. I couldn't think of the name. Where the jerks who can't throw away their beer cans in a reasonable fashion, you see them pull out all the litter later. That makes me crazy.
Yeah,
anyway, that's my rant.
Hey, back in the day when I was going to college here, we used to come out there.
You were one of those guys, weren't you?
No, we used to go out afterwards, and we used to find really expensive, watches and
Did you? Oh, God.
and sunglasses for sure. You know how many sunglasses we had? We'd go out there and just the next day we'd just go to we were going to the thing again and just hang out and everybody go look for stuff. Snorkel and grab stuff. It's crazy. That's what we used to do. It's a great idea.
Oh man.
That's great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I might still do that now. What am I kidding?
Yeah. And it's only getting crazier. So,
oh man,
yeah, more people here. So, yeah, so been a groundbreaking as of February 4th, 2026, on the water treatment plant. Up to $160 million for the plant, plus $30 million for deep injection wells to dispose of waste. Right. So this is.
Can you tell me a little more about the deep injection wells? I don't.
Yeah, they pump. They basically pump water that's been processed to a degree, but not able to be reused entirely because there's rules around you can't just call it reclaim water or water that's gone down a toilet and just then again serve it back to the people. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
I thought it was all going to the AI cooling systems or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So South Florida's water disposal systems are unique. Some West County, Florida Power and Light, which is a big power plant, use it for their cooling towers, and they use this reclaimed water instead of pumping it into the ocean. which is not great, or pumping it down deep water injection wells. So this is improved infrastructure that actually I think is net positive, because it's not ideal to pump a bunch of high phosphate, high mineral water into the ocean, in the sense of it creates algae blooms. Like, this is a thing, right? Like, so you gotta clean the water to a certain level before you can pump it in the ocean. And frankly, it's not the best thing to do. If we could use reclaimed water for golf courses, they use this reclaimed water for, right? So, but there's more water than they can reuse in most cases. And so there's other ways to dispose of it. Deep injection wells are one way. $30 million for deep injection wells. Again, as the city grows, they need more infrastructure to deal with this stuff. And so West County is pulling reclaimed water from the city of West Palm, right? And they're pumping it all the way west to that facility so they can use it. And they use a ton of that water. But it's really hard to deal with. It's not good water. Right, but the golf courses like it because, again, it got fertilizer. Oh, right. You think about it. Yeah. So it's interesting. So that's what they're doing here. So this is interesting. They also got some other stuff here. A1A/South Ocean Boulevard, 2.2 million FDOT improvement projects for 1.55 miles. Regarding swales and drainage, adding flashing beacons, stuff like that. So again, they're spending the money here to improve. And Delray's been doing a good job, right? I mean, Delray's nice. It continues to expand and improve. And again, that's just driving more private investment, which then is driving more tax dollars back to the city for now, and again improving the area. So, and I say for now because
right. I mean, and I feel like I've been here long enough now and spending time in Delray Beach and some of the other nearby communities that, right. I mean, it doesn't feel like you're going by it now and be like, oh God, man, is this place already dropped off? It's everything continually looks nicer and continues to develop reasonably. So hats off to all of the people involved in the planning process and not going off the rails.
Absolutely. And so, which is interesting, is how are they paying for all this? Well, they're using some tax dollars, right? But voters also approved $120 million in bonds in March 2023, $100 million for public safety, 80% towards a new police station replacing the current 36-year-old facility at 300 West Atlantic Ave, and $20 million for parks, primarily Catherine Strong Park renovation. The 2026 to 2030 capital improvement program covers 63 projects spanning roads, seawalls, stormwater, beach renourishment, parks, public safety, utilities, all the stuff. And so it'll be interesting to just see how this all progresses. But again, this is like in South Florida, I think it's more important than some other parts of the country, like making sure we don't have flash floods, because that's a thing, right? So this drainage, infrastructure, and things of that nature are super important. We've seen what happens in Fort Lauderdale when infrastructure is, or Broward County when infrastructure is just kind of not taken care of. And cities like Boca Raton and now Delray Beach have invested heavily in that type of infrastructure. And so we have substantially less flash floods or any of that nonsense compared to some other cities in the area. And that's what good infrastructure investment can do. And that's what happens when you have enough tax dollars to pull it off, and you have a growing city like Delray, like Boca Raton. So,
well, and for the sake of discussion, the other side of that, though, they've made a conscious effort to try to stay a little smaller. I mean,
sure.
West Palm Beach, I feel like, is the one that's the real test, as it continues to grow.
Sure.
Because there's no cap on that one.
Sure. Yeah. We will see. See. Let's talk about AI real estate startups raising $6.5 million and set up in Palm Beach County. Here we go.
Wow.
Silicon
AI.
Shore.
That's right.
Let's go. South Florida. More tech. All right. So, here's the scoop. An AI startup called Dono, if that's how I'm saying it right. Dono,
I don't know.
Whatever. Just raised $6.5 million to fix one of real estate's oldest problems. The fact that property ownership records in the county are still scattered across 3,700 county offices, many of them paper-based. Well, here's the deal. Arguably, I would say Palm Beach County, Broward County, even Miami-Dade, but Palm Beach County specifically
Has really good records?
Is really good. It has a really good digital system.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I've been in Papa enough times that, I was like, I'd imagine they actually seem to have it together with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, for someone who looks at real estate across the state and invests in stuff across the state, I would say Palm Beach County Property Appraiser's site and some of the other sites associated with it are the best. And don't get me wrong, great. We can improve, and we should improve our systems here. But Palm Beach County's already leaps and bounds ahead. And I think it's just like, for example, when you're in like a real city or real county, the infrastructure is better in some cases. Palm Beach County specifically. But then as soon as you go to like some county that doesn't, that's off the beaten track. Yeah. I mean, their systems are like, totally different, and it's very hard to get information to know what you're doing. So as a real estate investor, and I think this just helps everyone, have clear information on tracking, ownership, right? Because again, this is a big part of buying a home is clearing title, right?
Right.
And you need to have clear title in order to buy a home. So
my question is, as I'm looking at some of this, I'm like, okay, so Dono building an AI platform that automates title searches. That's great. And I'm like, but what? I just feel like sometimes AI is just the sexy word that we're putting on everything. I'm like, okay, so you're basically just building an advanced organization system to try to get all of these property records in line, which is great for all the reasons you said, and I'm sure so many more. It's like, but that's not AI. It's like, okay, I get it. You got to sell it, so you call it AI.
Well, this is the future of title, right? So like title.
You mean AI title?
AI title. There you go. That's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, just imagine this. Imagine if you could do title work in like a day versus 2-3 weeks. So the efficiency, and you could do it all with an AI platform. I mean, the title agents that do this work now, their job would be a lot more efficient, a lot easier.
Really?
Because you basically can have this system.
Find everything everything related to a specific property, and okay.
So as time goes on, this will become less complicated. And by the way, there's insurance companies that insure title. That's how you buy a house. You get title insurance, and and if the title insurance company does not insure the title work, then you're probably not buying the house in most cases. This is a choice. If you're buying it with financing, it is not a choice in most cases, right? But if you're buying it with cash, you don't have to get title insurance, but it's a little questionable if you don't. And so, long story short, the title people prepare the title work. They have all these third-party companies that go out and get the information, lien searches, code enforcement violations, permit history, chain of title, who actually owns this thing, and let's look at all the deeds and record that, and then make sure we understand where everything is. And then the title underwriters look at it. The insurance title underwriters look at it, and they say, yep, this is good, or no, we need these things to comply to be able to insure, and then they insure it. Now, if this company does this all via AI without too many humans involved, that could be quite interesting long term, right? And that's probably where things are headed, right? So
I'm just picturing the Hicks from South Park episode. Like, they're going to take our jobs. They're going to take our jobs. I can't do it. Anyway, but so it sounds great. Sounds incredibly efficient and useful to everybody who needs these records.
Let's just read this here real quick. So what does it do and why does it matter? I gave the speech, but let's see if this reflects it. U.S. has no unified property data system. Okay. Ownership records sit in more than 3,700 county registries, many still paper-based or poorly digitized. About 14% of real estate closings are delayed by days or weeks because of title verification problems tied to this fragmentation. Sure,
I was going to say you have a lot of problems.
It's less. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt here, but it's less complicated here because of it's a real city, and it's not. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of transactions happening, and things are relatively digitized. But it's true. It's a valid thing. We have to hunt stuff down and figure things out on the title side. So, Dono's AI platform automates the extraction and indexing of deeds, mortgages, liens, and ownership records. The company reports 80% faster turnaround times. Interesting. And this company is based in South Florida, which is great. So the $6.5 million seed round was announced February 10th, 2026, led by Link Ventures out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, with participation from Lul VC in Israel and Alumni Ventures in New Hampshire. Total raised to date is $10.2 million, and they were founded in 2023. This is great. I think this is good, and I think this is where things are headed. And I think just this is another indication that South Florida is a real player in tech, is a real player in industry all around, and we're not just this vacation location anymore, right?
Right.
So,
I feel like you've given that speech a few times, maybe when you're
once, twice,
okay,
3 times.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. From tech companies setting up in West Palm to luxury developers making moves in Fort Lauderdale, another branded residence project just launched on the beach. So the Ritz-Carlton unveils new luxury residences in Fort Lauderdale Beach. The Ritz-Carlton branded residence coming to Fort Lauderdale Beach is 83 units across 2 towers, starting at $2.5 million on a site that sits between the ocean and the Intracoastal, because generally that's how it works. Oh, man, usually their websites are a little, oh, here we go. Now we got the nice renderings.
There you go.
There
All
we
right.
go with the sunrise and the sunset, 2 towers, beautiful.
Look at it.
That's
Look
great.
At it. I just actually was touring with a client just before this in Singer Island.
Oh, yeah.
I was at the Ritz-Carlton.
Oh, really?
Residences, right? In Singer. So again, Ritz has some exposure down here already, and so this isn't the first one, but this is the newest one, and will be epic. It will be epic, and it's in Fort Lauderdale. And actually, if we can show the location, that would be cool. Yeah, let's throw that on the screen. But let's see, they're starting at $2.5 million on a site that sits between the ocean and the Intracoastal. I like this location.
Why?
It's kind of like there's a little less traffic there, and like so we've sold a lot of homes in that little area, homes and condos.
Well, I was going to say, I've got, my God, is everything that's going up by that mall just north of there, you know, that huge development? Because that's immediately what jumped out to me.
Yep.
I mean, you got that. I mean, I feel like that's like ground zero, and like all the developments in that area is sort of, you know, like within a 30-mile radius.
Yeah, we do. So if you zoom in, Ben, a little bit, okay, and you know where the what's the mall name again? Why am I?
I know, I'm totally blank,
zoom
but I
right
knew it
there.
as soon as I saw it.
The Galleria.
Yes.
The Galleria is right there on that little island, and the Ritz-Carlton is just adjacent to it. And we've talked about other projects going up right on that same strip next to the Ritz-Carlton. But the Galleria Mall has like crazy huge proposals for huge projects, right? Just like tons of residential, tons of retail. It's going to be super interesting if they can actually get it done. And we think they're going to get it done because they're using the Live Local Act to kind of bypass.
Oh, really?
Right. Some of the city requirements and frankly the pushback from the locals is slightly.
Boy, that Live Local Act, man, that is the gift that keeps on giving when you really want to get something done.
For these developers, yeah, and that was the goal. Like, hey, don't slow it down. Let's just do it. They should rethink that for the Boca Raton project here and just go live local. They'll stop everything. They'll knock it out. So anyway, that location's pretty sweet. But you asked why? Yeah. Because that location isn't on A1A, like in the sense that like you walk outside and there's just like A1A traffic. So in that area, it feels very walkable. There's a lot of restaurants around there. There's hotels on A1A, and then they have retail on the bottom floors, which is cool. Some bars, some clubs. You can really walk up and down there. So this Ritz-Carlton location will have great views of the Intracoastal, but won't be on the ocean. But you could walk across to the public beach, which I actually prefer public beaches.
Yeah, I mean,
over these like boring private beaches.
Right. It just depends. I mean, you never, I mean, if you feel like sitting by yourself, then private's great. But if I feel like having human interaction potentially, then public's definitely the way to go.
I just kind of like a little bit more action. It's not like the beach, like the beaches will get busy, but it's not like they're like super busy all the time. Right. So I don't know. I'm a fan of maybe you get the Intracoastal view. By the way, when people come to talk to us about like, hey, we want to buy a condo, we want a good view. We start talking about the view. It's like, well, okay, do you want an ocean view? Do you want an intercoastal view?
Right.
You want a city view? What do you want? And there's preferences and reasons why you might want one or the other. Example, like at night on the ocean, you see nothing but black, right? But at night, looking at the intercoastal, looking west,
you see the
you're on the island, you see the
skyline.
cityscape, you see the skyline, so you can get pretty epic views, and you can get long water views on the intercoastal. I'm sure the Ritz-Carlton will be offering that on some of the units there for sure. So that's pretty cool in itself.
I was just picturing when you said different views, I'm like, you know what? I want a view of an AI data center because I feel like that's really where things are going.
Yeah,
it's all the rage. I mean, we keep talking about these AI data centers. I just want to see nothing except the Everglades and AI data centers. That's my dream.
Well, you're one of one, John. You're one of one, and we've said that more than once. Haven't we?
I know. Where everybody kind of puts their heads down and shake. You know. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, you've.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about these units. So, what they're offering here is units are 2 and 3 bedroom layouts, with dens ranging from approximately 1,550 square feet to 3,480 square feet. The penthouse ceiling heights reach up to 11 feet. Now, ceiling heights in condo buildings are worth discussing. And so 11-foot ceiling heights, pretty good for a penthouse. Yeah. Pretty good and frankly expected, in my opinion, if I'm paying the number for the penthouse, that I'm sure it's not going to be cheap right there. So let's see what else. Garcia Stomberg designed the exterior. The firm is behind 1000 Ocean in Boca Raton, which we know very well. Alina Residences in Boca Raton, and Pier 66 Residences in Fort Lauderdale. They're hitting them all, right?
Yeah.
Dan Fink's Studio, a New York-based AD 100 designer known for high net worth private estates in Palm Beach and Miami, handled the interiors. So they got the heavy hitters, as one would expect in a Ritz-Carlton execution. I mean, this is going to be great. The one I was in today was, I don't know, 20 years old or something like that.
Oh, it's been there that long.
And so some version, I can't remember off the top of my head how old it is there, so don't quote me on that. But it was old enough that they were doing restoration. So they were at the timeline where the Ritz, by the way, you have to meet standard. Just like you have to meet it like a Marriott or any other place. You have to renovate in a certain window, and so they're at the point where they're going to do their refresh, their reno, and so they're assessing everyone $40,000 or $50,000 up there to do the refresh. They're redoing the pools up there, so that's a thing that's required at any of these branded communities. You have to meet the brand's standard.
I see. They were doing structural assessments before it was popular.
Yeah, right. Structural assessments, but not even that.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. But not even that. They really just care about the aesthetic, right?
Right.
Forget the building. It can fall down. Maybe that's
but
not a
did
good
it look
look
good? Right. But did it look good on its way down?
Exactly. So this is yet another one of these branded plays that these developers are working on. This is again one of many. South Florida has continued to do this execution. Porsche Tower, whatever. We can go down the list of all these. Waldorf, yeah. So there's plenty of these buildings that are now. The W is now doing a residence, right, in Pompano, which I think we might talk about later here. But anyway, yeah. So this is the trend in South Florida. Build with a brand. And it seems to drive a little bit more of a profit margin for these developers, which is cool, which is great. Yeah. So,
because they're normally struggling,
Yeah. No, I think these developers are doing all right. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about where we think that's going on another, maybe next week's pod. We'll do that. So, all right, hit it, John.
Okay. Well, going from a branded luxury on Fort Lauderdale Beach to a different kind of buyer who is reshaping a city just south of there. You have the FIFA World Cup just months away, and it's already moving the real estate needle. So the FIFA World Cup and sports fans, they are already buying up South Florida condos. Makes sense. I'd imagine you probably have already talked to people that are making the trip out here and needing some guidance in how to go about their housing situation.
Most recently, we had a guy. I think he's a sheik, but he is his people. His people reached out, and they're like, "Hey, we need a rental." And the rental price, I'm like, okay, what's the cap? And it was just like, no cap. Just find me the view.
It's like, no, that's not an expression. I mean, really, we have no cap on this.
No cap on this. That's so funny. I didn't even think I was saying that. Yeah, and so we just pulling $100,000 a month rentals. And by the way, not easy to find the thing that they wanted. And there was
what the hell did they want?
There was no price limit. It was just like a certain amount of rooms, a certain size with epic water views, and like the size of home that you might be able to get in other parts of the country isn't always super easy to get here. You know, I think he was looking for 10,000 square feet or more, right? Which is a really big home.
Yeah.
But again, you would think there might be something out there, and there was almost not.
Not to be like directly on the water or, just checking all the boxes, I'd imagine.
Yeah, like again, oceanfront, fine. Like would like that. Preference was oceanfront. The like Biscayne Bay views, right, which were epic. But again, some of these homes were like 6, 7, 8,000 square feet. They weren't really perfect for him, right?
But what a dump.
I guess he has a lot of people there with him,
right?
And so anyway, yes, so this is happening, and the reason why they reached out because they wanted to be here to run around to this was going to be their base for seeing all the World Cup games, local and traveling from there. So yeah, so World Cup's coming this summer, and it looks like it might be a hot summer for Miami, that's for sure. So Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens is one of 16 venues across the U.S., Mexico, and Canada for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So as we noted, I'd love to go to a game. I haven't looked into it. I'm sure it's probably too late.
Well, no, I mean I'm sure you can. It just depends how much you're prepared to pay for it.
It's a lot of money.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That means all 7 matches, including a quarterfinal and third place game, concentrate into one part of South Florida, 7 miles away. Hallandale Beach has quietly become one of the hottest spots for sports-driven real estate plays. NBA player, you probably know this, Kyle Kuzma.
Oh, Kuzma, yeah.
Yeah, recently signed a contract on a $5.64 million unit at the residence of Shell Bay, and about 50% of the building is under contract with several deals around $12 million, expected to shatter the city's condo sale record. It's wild. Hallandale is just and this is what happened for us too when we were looking for these rentals, more and more north.
And Miami, they don't want to go. And they don't want to go
Miami.
that far.
We were thinking about it. Like it's like, okay, show me Hallandale now. Show me Sunny Isles. Show me these areas, because we're not getting it done in like the heart of Miami, where we ideally want to be, but couldn't figure it out. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time imagining like wanting to be in the heart of Miami. It just doesn't do it for me, man.
A lot of our clients,
because I mean, it looks nice, but there's a difference between you like seeing it and then like day-to-day living. I mean, some people love it. I'm just saying, to each their own. It's like, yeah, God, it's just too much. It's too much.
Yeah. I appreciate Miami for what it is. And then I like living outside of Miami.
Right. I mean, I like that if I wanted to go, I can hop on the Brightline and go right there. But it's like, but past that, no.
And literally walk to the Brightline from where we're standing right now in downtown Boca, and then just end up in downtown.
Yeah.
Pretty good, pretty solid. But a lot of our clients that we work with, they start their search thinking they want to be in Miami, and then end up Boca Delray, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of or Fort Lauderdale, but there's huge differences from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, Delray, West Palm. They're very different, and so that's maybe I think they're very different just because I have a nuanced view of all cities, being down here and doing this every day with clients. But that's a thing, and you're buying or renting a home, and you're going to be there and spend your time, so you might as well have a discussion with me about it.
Here's my question, because I see a lot of these listings, and I'll see the rentals for it or whatever. Are you allowed to just rent it for a month? I mean, are people, is that an option, or they're being like, if you're going to sign with me, you're going to be paying for this for the next 6 months, whether you use it or not?
It depends on the property.
Okay, so everyone's been different. I mean, have people been flexible? Be like, knowing full well that people are just coming for however long for the World Cup.
Yeah, and this guy was planning to stay for, I think, 5 months. So he was going to stay.
Time.
Yeah, he was going to use that as home base and hang out there and whatever. But But long story short, yeah, it just depends on, not every city allows shorter term rentals. Sometimes you're doing the shorter term rentals under the radar. Sometimes there's tax. There is short term rental tax.
Oh.
Anything under 6 months, for example, in Palm Beach County, gets taxed 13%. So there's that whole thing too. So a lot of times people rent just for an additional month. If they're going to do 5,
to avoid the
just do the 16, the 6, so they don't have to pay the 13%. Or there's always negotiation around that. It's like some level of consideration, and so that goes for short-term stuff like hotels. That's in what you're paying for a hotel. That's in what you're paying for an Airbnb. If you guys didn't know that, that's definitely a big thing. A lot of our Airbnb investors, they buy. I have to educate them on this. One, because I own multiple Airbnbs, I can tell them exactly the cost breakdown. I can show them my thing, which is like, hey, you think you're doing the math on this and you think it pencils out, but you missed, 13% in taxes, right? Like 13% off your revenue number is like a huge number. And so many people miss that because they think they can just show up and rent this thing without a city license or whatever, right? The other thing is we've had Airbnb. This isn't my clients because we watch this stuff, but we've sold property and watched the new buyer buy it for Airbnb, and then do inspections and have the city come in, and then the city like flags all these things. And so for permit issues, et cetera, hey, your fence shouldn't have been built like that. Hey, you have this tiki hut. We're looking for a record of permitting. We don't see it. So now you're not allowed to rent this thing. You don't get your license.
What a scam.
Until you permit these things. And then once you get all compliant, then you can rent. So again, like when you're buying an Airbnb down here in South Florida, you want to be smart. You want to know these nuanced things that don't exist in other parts of the country, don't exist in, maybe if you're an Airbnb investor and invested in Pennsylvania, you probably didn't have
a tiki hut.
Yeah, a tiki hut or some physical inspection like they do in Pompano Beach, right? So you got to really understand what you're getting yourself into when you're buying these short-term rental deals. Again, it can cost you. That one client, I think, still hasn't. That wasn't our client. Again, we sold it, and they just decided they didn't tell us they were going to Airbnb it. They just decided to do it, and they find out that certain things didn't comply for the city. And long story short, now they're in trouble, and they haven't rented this thing for like 6 months, trying to work through it. That's partially their own fault, because if I had that thing, I'd get it wrapped up in 2 seconds and get those permits pulled and solved. But again, it's headache that you were not expecting, costs you weren't expecting. And so be smart when you're thinking about buying a short-term rental here in South Florida. Make sure you're working with somebody who really knows the ins and outs of that business.
I just feel like you have foreshadowed so many potential problems that people are going to experience in the next few months trying to get places here. We're selling so many properties that were once bought by owners, not with us. They were bought by investors who thought they were going to kill it in the Airbnb market here, and they're getting crushed. Yeah.
I mean, crushed. I got one property on the market right now. They paid $825 for it. We're listed at $7, and we got an offer at $650. And it's like, they invested money into it. And so, I mean, there's just a ton of deals that are structured just like that, where we've seen so many Airbnb investors that come to us later, like, hey, we're ready to list and sell because this isn't working. We're losing money on the deal because we didn't do our math properly. We overpaid. The interest rate was too high when we bought it. All these things. And now they come back to sell it, and they can't even sell it for what they paid for it after they've invested in it. This is the story that I can tell you. I have a conversation, I don't know, 2-3 times a week at least. Really? Yeah, this is like constant. And so, yeah, and it's tough. It's tough. So, make good decisions when buying. Work with the right people who really know what's going on, and you won't have a problem. But circle back to the World Cup effect. Look at this. Other cities positioned to benefit from the World Cup effect. Miramar, Hollywood, Aventura, Pompano Beach offers the beach resort experience about 35 minutes from the stadium. Not bad. The city is in the middle of a luxury construction boom, as we've talked about many times, and it's transforming right like overnight, basically. But there's a lot more to go there, right? There's a lot more to go.
Yeah.
And so this the Broward County, southern Broward County market is going to really benefit not just the Miami market. And again, that's what we're seeing. We're getting calls on this stuff right now. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. A lot of it's luxury stuff. So just that's
well, and I keep forgetting that there's a Brightline station in Aventura for whatever reason. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Stop in Aventura. So yeah. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Trump appointee, Anthony Lomangino.
All right, nice. I'm like, you're Italian, man. If you can't nail that one, I don't know what to tell you because I don't think I could have gotten that. Lomangino. How does you pronounce that?
Lomangino.
Lomangino. Okay, all right.
Lomangino. That's it.
Okay.
Drops $77 million. I'm Italian American, so
well,
come on.
Now I've offended you after everything else I've said.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying like my Italian isn't good enough.
Oh yeah.
That's a little weak. Yeah. So $77 million he dropped on a historic Palm Beach trophy estate. This is just bananas. It's just like stuff keeps happening. I don't entirely understand it, but this is what happens in Palm Beach. They buy these huge, crazy estates. So a waste management executive and Trump appointee just paid $76.7 million for Villa Flora, one of the most historically significant estates in Palm Beach. The sellers bought it for $9.6 million in 2001. Holy smokes. That's a nice run.
Yeah.
That's a nice run. Right?
Wow.
I'm curious how much investment they've made into it, but interesting. So Anthony and his wife, Linda, purchased Villa Flora at 260 North Ocean Boulevard in an off-market deal recorded February 2nd. The 2-acre oceanfront compound was designed in 1923 by none other than Addison Meisner.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's done some things around here. So Addison was a big deal in South Florida in the 20s. The 1910, 1920, 1930, he built the Boca Raton Club as an example. He did a lot of other things, and there's a few other big players that were running around down here. But I mean, they kind of created what is South Florida. They made the first push here. So sellers Harvey and Mary Ann held the property for nearly 25 years after acquiring it for just $9.58 million. Christian Angle of Christian Angle Real Estate represented both sides. There we go. So. Yep. Villa Flora was designed by Addison Meisner in 1923 in a Venetian Gothic style, a specific and ornate subset of the Mediterranean revival movement he pioneered across Palm Beach. This is what Addison Meisner did. He went abroad, ran around, tried to figure out what he liked, and then came back here and started building the things he liked. And this was one of the styles that he was into. And so this is a very unique home for sure. The property sits on slightly more than 2 acres, the corner of North Ocean Boulevard and Dunbar Road. Can we show on the map where this is? You may have already done that, but I wasn't looking. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a corner lot. Oh, my goodness.
Zoom out a little bit more. So this is on the northern Palm Beach Island area, right? Just north of downtown, which is like the spot, man. That's the spot. It's close to the breakers, close to Worth Ave.
And it's a 2-acre.
2 acres. So you don't have direct ocean right there. I mean, you have views, direct ocean views, cool, but you're not on the ocean.
Oh, well, then forget about it.
It's junk. I don't want it.
Wow.
I'm out.
I mean, just, I mean, the fact that it's like when you can see, when Ben was zoomed out, when you can still see that green space enough, you're like, I can recognize it even without a marker on it. Wow.
That's a ton of dirt right there on the ocean. That's awesome. Let's see. And it looks, I mean, it's a historical home, so you're not bulldozing this thing. Yeah.
Could you if you wanted to? If you were really an asshole?
I don't think you could.
I think ones like that are protected.
I think that one's probably protected. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as a designated Addison Meisner house from 1923.
That's why I ask. I never know. You never know. Like,
let's see here. The estate was among the first properties on Palm Beach to receive landmark protection granted in April 1980. it got protection in 1980.
Oh, okay.
So it's been, this is why it's still here, frankly.
Okay.
Right? That designation prevents significant exterior alteration without approval from the Landmark Preservation Commission. So we were in one of these homes the other day that had a similar kind of situation, but but was verified that we could bulldoze it, but was historic, but had approval to be bulldozed, which is interesting. But it was so unique and special that I'm pretty sure most people aren't going to bulldoze it.
Right.
It's in Old Floresta here in Boca, which
there's a lot of unique houses in there.
So you got the NBA player, a football player that has this massive new construction home next door, and then you have this like Meisner-esque villa that is just very unique, but updated and maintained really well. So let's see. For context, on Meisner Estates, La Quierta, another Meisner design from the same year, became JFK's winter house and sold for $70 million in 2020. Villa Flora, $76 million. Sale reflects how preserved Meisner landmarks with oceanfront acreage commands premium even by Palm Beach Island standards, which is true. I mean, that much dirt on that, on the water there is. I mean,
when I look at every other house from that aerial view of Palm Beach there, I mean, they're all, that's just how it is there. All the houses are so close together. Then you got this one that I don't know if they can put it on Google Maps, may have like a 24/7, radiant glow to it. Like an angelic glow, but it just, some of them, I take that back. Some of them there, the one just on the other side of the street's pretty sizable as well.
But again, if you go South Bend to like some of the other properties we talked about in the past that have like access to both ocean and intracoastal. So keep going south, keep going. You'll know when you get there. So if you keep going, more, right there. Nope. So like here, zoom in on some of these. There you go. So like look at some of these houses. Those are condos. But if you go up, see some of these houses, right? They got both, which is super unique. And these homes, are trading in that price range in some cases, maybe more in some cases, obviously. But to say like a landlocked property that's built in 1923 sells for $76 million is, again, a testament to like Meisner landmarks being worth whatever the observer feels it's worth, right? So that's the market for Addison Meisner homes on Palm Beach Island. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think
on that note
is about it. Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's do it, sir. On behalf of Larry Mastropieri, broker, owner of the Mastropieri Group, I'm John Laws of Discover South Florida. Once again, I want to thank you